Good morning, all. Happy International Yoga Day to all.
Let's begin our Yoga Day special program. All of you, please be in your prayer position.
संगजत्वं संवदत्वं संवो मनांसि जानतां देवाभागं यथा पूर्वे सञ्जानाना उपासते सञ्जानाना उपासते सञ्जानाना उपासते।
तिनका था हमने सवारा, अपनी वो माटी और घर बारा। लुट रहा ये चमन अपना वतन, आंखों से अपनी लुट रहा ये चमन अपना वतन, आंखों से अपनी। संकल्प बोल के हम तो निकल पड़े, हर द्वार खोल के गगन कहे विजयी भव, विजयी भव, गगन कहे विजयी भव। की सुरंग भटकी है रोशनी, है छटपटा रही रोशनी, गगन कहे विजयी भव।
भोली सी तेरी बांसुरी खो गई सावरे।
घायल है तेरा जल, तू नदी है राह बदल, पानी बुलबुला रहा है कल कल कल। तू निकल, तू निकल, माटी ने तेरी आज पुकारा, धरती ये पूछे बारंबार, लुट रहा ये चमन तेरा वतन, आँखों से अपनी लुट रहा ये चमन तेरा वतन, आँखों से अपनी। संकल्प बोल के हम तो निकल पड़े, हर द्वार खोल के गगन कहे विजयी भव। गगन कहे विजयी भव। विजयी भव, विजयी भव।
Namaskar. I am Dr. Padmanabhan, consultant yoga psychologist and visiting faculty, Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam. We all know that the 8th International Yoga Day falls on 21st June 2022. You may be knowing that what is the importance of that particular day. The importance of the particular day, that is 21st June, is the longest day of the year throughout the world. According to our tradition, it is the period in between the winter solstice and the summer solstice, or the Uttarayana and the Dakshinayana. And the period between these 2 points, where the sun starts to go towards gradually from south to north. And it is because of this great day is the longest day of the year. So far as the history of yoga is concerned, there is a misconception that yoga is originated in India. That may be true, but when we explore, when we go very deeply into the history of yoga, right from the beginning of Vedic periods, or even before the Vedic periods, we would be able to see that yoga is not originated specifically in India, but all over the world. Because you might have heard shamanism, and shamanism is a cult that existed 25,000 years ago, BC, before Christ, in Siberia. And that cult also used certain yoga postures and meditations for attaining a special state of consciousness called trance. After that, when the archaeological excavation made in Indus Valley civilization, where we got many idols resembling yoga postures, 5000 BC. Then the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Tantras, the Bhagavad Gitas, the epics, the Puranas, the Ramayana, everywhere we can see the elements of yoga. And there is an interesting verse in Bhagavad Gita in which Krishna says that Imam vivasvade yogam proktavanaham avyayam. This imperishable yoga I taught to sun god. So nobody knows the origin of the sun. And the sun taught this great yoga to his son Manu. And Manu was the first human being. And Manu taught this great Vidya, Yoga Vidya, to his son Ichagu, and Ichagu to the Saptarshis. Saptarshis we can see in the sky. So what does it mean? It means that the tradition of yoga, the heritage of yoga was handed down orally from guru or the teacher to the disciple. So there were no books at that time. Since yoga was taught to the sun, and sun is everywhere in the world. So this is an excellent example that we could see from Bhagavad Gita, that the universality of yoga. This, so what is the summarization of this? Summarization of origin of yoga. The summarization of origin of yoga is nothing but yoga is ageless, beginningless, or yoga is time immemorial. Means we don't have any exact date of its origin. And moreover, the elements of yoga we could see in the Buddhism, the Jainism, and Buddhism everywhere in the world. So all this indicates that yoga is universal and yoga is not related to any particular religion and any particular country. This is a short description about the history of yoga. Then what is the importance of yoga? How yoga works? And the word meaning of yoga is union. Union of what? You see, we have a body and we have a mind. Mind we could not see, body we can see. But even though the mind we cannot see, we cannot deny the mind. It is there. And how the mind and the body works? When the prana is there or the breath is there. If there is no breath, the body cannot function at all. And the mind also cannot function at all. So, yoga discovered that by controlling the breath, we are inhaling and exhaling, it is possible to control the mind. For example, I will tell you, suppose somebody is very much angry. When one becomes angry, what happens? Immediately our breath becomes very fast. When the intensity of the anger increases again and again, the breath becomes so fast and fast. And then what happens? What happens in the body? The muscles are contracted. We shrink the forehead. We grind the teeth. And even the gestures come out. And gestures is suppose, no, you please don't come to me. And this is the universal gesture. And nobody will say, make a gesture like this. No. When one is angry, nobody will make a gesture like this. Nobody will make a gesture like this. Only like this. Okay. So what does it mean? Though we cannot see the mind, so something happened in the mind, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, immediately it affects the breath. It influences the breath. And when it is influenced the breath, the symptoms, whether good or bad, can be seen in the body. So, what yoga believes is that when we know the art of controlling the breath, and that is what we call pranayama, and when the contractions of the muscles of the body that we have to remove, and that process is called by doing asanas. Asana stretches the body and removes the tensions of the body and make the body fit for doing pranayama practices, breathing practices. So doing an asana properly with all with the stepwise with the breathing, etc., and combining pranayama or asana plus pranayama is equal to controlling the mind. Yoga never says that. When people are, unfortunately, people do believe that yoga is for mental control. How it is possible to control the mind? Because we have never seen the mind. So yes, it is possible to control the mind when we know the art of breathing, the inhalation and exhalation. There are many modes of breathing. That's pranayama. Then there are many asanas, some forward bend asanas and backward bend asanas. Each and every asana denotes some emotions, Suppose a person is sad, so the body is immediately come forward. So even by sitting forward continuously, it means that your position is something sad. So even in the class, don't sit making the body forward. Try to sit straight. Okay. So each and every asana denotes, it has some connection with the emotions too. So by a union of the body with the mind, so yoga is the balancing of physical energy. Okay, yoga is the balancing of the physical energy and the mental energy. We have two energies. Though energy is one, it works in two parts. That is the physical energy we do with muscles and etc. And the mental energy we think, etc. Okay, and both energy must be balanced. So yoga is a process by which yoga would help you to balance these two great energies. And when you would be able to balance these great energies, what happens? Spiritual development happens in your personality. What is spiritual development? Spiritual development or spirituality is possessing values, ethics, morals, principles, values, etc. That makes you to know the meaning of life. This is what spirituality is. And spirituality is not connected with any religion, but religion use spirituality. And what would be the difference between mental behavior and spiritual behavior? An excellent example is, suppose sympathy is a mental behavior. Sympathy is limited to some people only, whereas sympathy is a mental behavior, whereas empathy is a spiritual behavior. Empathy, we should have empathy upon. Then only we will have global unity. Global unity. And generousness is also a spiritual behavior. Okay. Benevolence is also a spiritual behavior. Respecting all religions is also spiritual behavior. And these are all excellent examples for spiritual behaviors. Please don't misunderstand that spiritual behavior is something else, uniting with some religions and doing like that. No. So this is what yoga promotes. So the definition of yoga is union of body and mind for spiritual development. Now we will talk about the asanas. And how many asanas are in yoga? There are many number of asanas. Day by day, the number of asanas are increasing. But the purpose of asana is not for improving physical stamina. It is there, but the purpose of asana is for keeping steadiness to the body. Steadiness of the body. And asana will teach you steadiness. You can do a practice, even you can all stand up, and you have to keep both legs, the shoulder width apart, and hang the two hands to the sides of the body and simply close your eyes and stand in the same position for 1 minute. And when you stand in the same position for 1 minute, you feel that your body is moving from the place where you are standing. Actually, the body is not coming forward or backward, but still you feel that it is moving. This type of movement is called micro movements. Micro movements. So in a minute, how many times it is moved, you count it. It is a very good activity to maintain stability of the body. When the body is stable, the mind is also stable, because the mind is not away from the body, the mind is inside the body. Okay, and that is why we use a term psychosomatic. Psychosomatic. And this meditation, this standing asana meditation, it is called Kayotsarga in yoga. Kayotsarga means a meditation with body in standing position. And I advise all the students to do this every day, every day, and try to minimize the micro movements. When you are trying to minimize the micro movements, it means that the stability, concentration, attention increases. Okay, and there is one thing also, where attention goes, the energy flows. So when we talk about asana, some text says that there are 15 asanas, and some text says that there are 32 asanas. So you forget about the number of asanas. So the asanas can be categorized or classified very easily. we all know that we have a spine, and the spine has 6 basic movements. What are they? The first movement is the forward bend. So there are some asanas in the forward bend. For example, Padahastasana, Paschimottanasana, Janushirasana, and the backward movement. And backward movement is Bhujangasana, the cobra. The cobra is an excellent posture by which the respiratory muscles are opened, more ventilation will enter into the lungs, okay, and the lung capacity will increase, and many benefits when you do Bhujangasana. So there are Bhujangasana, Ustrasana, so Dhanurasana. These are all the backward bend asanas. And there is the sideways bending, side bending asana. Okay, so Kadi, Tiryak Kadiyasana, one side, and Tiryak Kadiyasana, not Tiryak Kadi Chakrasana, and twisting is Kadi Chakrasana. These are all some movements, and other sideways movement is Trikonasana to the left and the right. Okay, then the twisting asana, there is asanas or Sava Udara Krishnasana. Okay, Ardhamalsendrasana. These are all twistings. So besides that, there are some balancing asanas, standing on one leg. And standing on one leg asana is an excellent asana to improve concentration, because the asana teaches you concentration. How the asana teaches you concentration? Because without concentration, you cannot stand on one leg. You may fall. You may fall down. So some asanas will teach you what is attention and concentration. And besides, there is one more movement, one or two categorization of asanas. That is one inverted postures, means the head down, the legs up. Okay. And after that, I'm balancing asanas, because you have to balance the body in both arms, like Mayurasana, Kukudasana, like this. And this asana will improve the core strength. Nobody can attack you. Your muscle becomes very strong, very strong. So the asana provides you strength. Okay. And after asana provides to stability, and asana increases flexibility, and asana increases concentration. There are many benefits. And after that, there are pranayamas also, and Brahmari pranayama, some type of humming pranayama. And altogether, yoga is an excellent tool, excellent practical tool that you have to practice every day, not on the particular day of International Day of Yoga. Consider every day is an International Day of Yoga. Okay. And this year's theme is Yoga for Humanity. The survival of the humanity is actually, you keep yoga in your, or imbibe the essence of yoga in your life as a way of life, as a healthy lifestyle. Okay. And besides in yoga, there are many ethics and morals, yama and nema in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So altogether, yoga teaches you the morals, ethics, principles, values, and health to the body, and spirituality. Altogether, yoga is an excellent tool, and that is beneficial for you in all aspects, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. That's all, my dear students and teachers. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्।